Someone help!
These are human lives! That says wrong! They have families, children! They're our friends and we're watching them!
Not subscribe.
Kaizoku.
This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Subscribe to Patreon every day. Just a little heads up, because a lot of you are kind of misunderstanding the point of my deck breakdowns. These deck breakdowns are meant to be used as a way to hit the ground running and see how a particular deck or game mechanic functions without having to spend the time learning it yourself. This is not meant to be a perfect be-all end-all list, but 80 to 90% of the cards in my deck breakdowns are core cards, with the remaining 10% being like tech cards that you'll need to put in your deck for your own local metagame or your own spice to make the list truly your own. But now that we got that out of the way, alright, it's time for our first EB01 deck breakdown. We're gonna do Bum Rush ENEL. It's an ENEL deck, yeah, but it's different than any ENEL deck you've played before. It revolves around just beating down your opponent, playing out rush characters, and just trying to finish the game, or at least control their board to the point where they can't finish you off while you have a bunch of 7k attackers out. So yeah, a lot different from the like kind of turtle style ENEL that you may be used to. We don't have a way to heal ourselves in this deck, and this is just a temporary stopgap. I think this EB01 meta is the only time that this rush ENEL will be viable, because once OP07 comes out, it's gonna go back to the old ENEL, because we have like Ace and then that new Frankie card. So enjoy Bum Rush ENEL while it lasts. It won't be for too long, I don't think. But let's take a look at the leader card, in case you don't know what ENEL does. So ENEL is a monocolor yellow leader with 5000 power and 4 starting life. That's one less than other monocolor leaders. His leader ability reads, on your opponent's turn, once per turn, when your life hits 0, you can add the top card of your deck to your life, and then you can discard one card from your hand, essentially giving you one free layer of super armor every turn that you're at 1 life, right? Because this activates when you go to 0 from 1 life. So as long as you have 1 life at the end of your turn, you do get that extra 1 hit that you can take the next turn. This means that your opponent does need 3 attacks to kill you when you're at 1 life, and this also means that as long as you keep them at 2 or less characters, you can't die that turn. And if you keep them at 1 attack a turn, they just can't do anything to you at all. Let's take a look at the deck list. For EB01 Charlotte Flampe, one of the better cards to come out of EB01. It's like the best utility yellow card. It doesn't stop attacks or anything like a Bedge or something like that, but what Flampe does is on play, you can add the top card or bottom card of your life to your hand, and then you can draw a card. You may be thinking like, 1 Dawn to like take a life, isn't that bad? But in certain types of yellow decks, it's actually pretty good. We're incentivized to go to 1 life as soon as possible. There's a lot of other yellow decks that do that too, like Black Yellow Luffy wants to go to 0 ASAP. So instead of like letting your opponent dictate what life you're at, because yeah, you only take a life when your opponent attacks you, you can play cards like Flampe to pick your own life, and then you draw a card on top of that. So it's essentially like drawing you 2 cards for 1 Dawn. And for a 1 Dawn commitment, that seems really worth it to me. You can play this on your first turn, and then if you don't need Flampe for that effect, she's still a 2k counter, so it's just a really amazing card overall. For OP03 Charlotte Cracker, just a double attack threat that you can trigger out. He costs 4 and has 5k attack, but if he gets triggered from your life, you can play him by discarding a card from your hand, and if you attach Dawn to him while you have less life than your opponent, the character gains plus 1000 power and double attack. So at minimum, he's a 7k double attack swing. This is great at getting your opponent low so that you can finish them off with your 7k attacks in games where you want to race against your opponent. And he still has counter too, so he's not completely useless in hand. For OP05 ENEL, it is pretty much the start of the deck. Not on his own though, it's another card that gets introduced in EB01 that makes him so strong. We'll get to that later though, but yeah, he's a 7 cost 7k rush attacker, and then he also has a ability that lets you protect him on board once a turn if he were to be removed from play. So that's either KO or bottom deck or like even bounce. You can trash the top card of your life instead to keep him on board once, unless your opponent has a Monkey D. Luffy character on board, but that's so specific that it doesn't come up too often. And this does play into your leader ability too. If you're at 1 life and you take that 1 life from this ENEL dying or something, your leader ability does activate and you heal. It's just that that card doesn't go to your hand, so you do lose out 1 card at least, but it's essentially like, if you can think about it, that 1 card from your life going to your hand and then using it as counter to protect this ENEL without having to have that card in hand. That makes sense, right? But yeah, we'll move on. 3 OP05 Gedatsu. Still just a good mid-game play for yellow. In games where you kind of want to slow it down a little bit, you can just not attack and then get more value out of Gedatsu. Because what he does is on play, you can KO up to one of your opponent's characters with costs equal to or less than their life. So this means against 5 life leaders, when you can play Gedatsu on your 5 dawn turn, they'll usually be at 4 life because you attacked once before. This means that pretty much anything they play on their 4 dawn turn would die to Gedatsu. Against 4 life leaders, it's a little more tricky. You may have to forego your first leader attack to get value out of Gedatsu if you want to wait for them to play something that's 4 cost for Gedatsu to kill. Otherwise, if you do bring him to 3, yeah, I hope they play a 3 cost for you to kill instead. But yeah, at the end of the day, he's still a 6k attacker and has 1k counter. For OP05 Satori, just a 2k counter that is actually a attack threat too. He has 5k attack, and then you can trigger him by discarding a card from your hand to play him for free. Yeah, just a generic good yellow card that pretty much every yellow deck runs Satori, so why not we run it too. But if you do want to cut it for like a Hiyori or something, I think Satori would be a good pick for that. But he does help us with our like kind of aggro bum rush nature of the deck. For OP05 Shura. Shura is a Sky Island Searcher for 2. He also gets played for free via trigger. He lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a Sky Island type card and add it to your hand. This helps find a lot of the key pieces in our deck. It helps find 7 cost ENEL, it helps to find the event to cheat them out, helps us find Raigo to remove something, find Amarus to tap something at the end to kill, helps us find our Gedatsus if we need it, helps us find Satori as our 2k counter, just everything in our deck Shura can find. For OP06 Kikunojo, another strong generic yellow card. It's a 4 cost 6k with no counter, so it has to have a good effect, right? So what Kikunojo does is on KO, if your opponent is at 3 or less life, you can just heal 1 life from the top of your deck, which disincentivizes your opponent from killing Kikunojo when they're at 3 or less life. This means the window that they can handle Kikunojo is a lot smaller. And then she also has a really strong trigger. If your opponent is at 3 or less life, you can just play it for free. You don't have to discard a card to play this Kikunojo, unlike Satori and Cracker. So you get a free 6k body out that is because you don't want your opponent to heal. So yeah, just a great generic yellow card that can be run in every yellow deck. For starter deck 7, Charlotte Katakuri, Rush Katakuri card. What he does is when you play him, you can look at the top card of your or your opponent's life, and then you can put it back on the top or put it on the bottom. But the other benefit of the card is that if you have less life than your opponent, this card gains Rush. That's why I call him Rush Katakuri. So it's a Rush 6k for 4. We have it active pretty often because we like to go low in this deck in life. We usually do stay around at 1 life. For starter deck 13, Portgas the Ace. So kind of like Katakuri, he is a 5 cost 7k attacker with Rush, but only if you have 2 or less life. And 7k is that magic number against a lot of leaders that aren't 6k base, so just having this able to attack the turn you play him is really useful. And yeah, you just have to be at 2 or less life, you don't have to be less than your opponent, so even if you have more life than your opponent, actually, this ace can still get Rush. So a little more flexible than Katakuri. 3 EB01 Raigo. So Raigo is a new event from EB01. It costs 6, it's pretty expensive, and what it does is you can KO up to one of your opponent's characters, any cost. Doesn't matter if it's 4, 5, 10, but the caveat is that you have to trash the top card of your life until your total becomes 1. This does mean that you don't really use this card too early, unless it's like a really must-kill threat. But that also means that if you're already at 1 life, there's no downside to using this card. And since we do like to stay at 1 life, Raigo just becomes a 6-dawn kill anything kind of card. And a card like this is really useful in an ENEL deck because, as I mentioned earlier, if your opponent has less than 3 characters on board, they can't kill you the turn after, and Raigo can guarantee that. Unless they have like a Sabo effect on board or Borsalino. But yeah, other than that, just getting rid of that 3rd body means that only 2 swings you live, so you can plan out for another turn of attacks to like end them or something. So it's a great stall card. It even has a trigger. You can KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the total of your and your opponent's life cards. So kind of like that 9 cost Yamato on play effect, but as a trigger. So if 6 is too steep to use this card, if you get it via trigger, you can just KO something for free. Really nice card to just have in your back pocket, I feel. For EB01, I Am God. Here's the other event from EB01 that makes this deck really fun to play. So it costs 4, and what it does is you can put up to a 7 cost ENEL from your hand or your trash into play. Then you trash the top card of your life until you get down to 1. So similar to Raigo, this isn't something you play early. But if you're at 1 life, there's no downside to playing it. It makes your 7 cost ENEL into a 4 cost, essentially. And you don't even need to have the ENEL in hand. So you can use cards like Amaru or like You're the One Who Should Disappear to just discard your ENEL, and then you can use I Am God to play ENEL from trash for 4. 4 Dawn for 7k. It's kind of like Kid and Killer in that aspect. But then ENEL is a lot stickier because of his effect to stay on board if he gets removed. So yeah, this makes 7 cost ENEL a lot more valuable in this kind of deck. And it also has a trigger that lets you draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand. So kind of like a 4 OP05, 200 million votes Amaru. Amaru is just really strong. For 2 Dawn, you can buff a character or leader for 3k, so it's already more than efficient for the amount you pay for it. Then if you're at 1 or less life, which we usually are at anyway, you can rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less, so this gets rid of like trump blockers that they're trying to like save themselves with. And then even as a trigger, it's amazing. So if you trigger it, you can trash 2 cards from your hand, and then you can add 1 card from the top of your deck to your life, essentially extending your viability for another turn. And with the way that ENEL works, that 1 extra life makes it even harder to kill you because it already takes 3 attacks when you're at 1 life to finish you off. If you get an Amaru trigger, it will take 4 from that point. Lastly, we have 4 OP06, You're the One Who Should Disappear. It's a 0 Dawn counter that lets you trash a card and counter for 3. This turns a lot of the bricks in our deck into a 3k counter. And even the trigger is really great for an ENEL deck. So if you have 0 life cards, you can put the top card of your deck onto your life pile, and then you can trash 1 card from your hand. It is especially synergistic with ENEL in that if this is your last life card and you take it, you go to 0, You're the One Who Should Disappear will let you heal, and you have to discard a card, and then your leader ability will activate, letting you heal another 1 at the cost of trashing 1 more card in your hand. So essentially you heal for 2 life if this is your last life card as ENEL actually. And then you may be wondering, where's Reject? So yeah, I would run Reject in this deck, but in the sim, on the eastern region, it is already banned so that people can start testing out the post-ban kind of meta. But technically Reject will still be legal when this set comes out, when EB01 comes out. So if I had to run a Reject list, I'd run something like this. I'd take out 1 Raigo and 2 Rush Katakuri to fit in 3 Rejects or something. Because yet Reject is still a great card. I think it's even better for this kind of deck. But yeah, just with the footage I have in the videos, since I don't want to confuse you guys by not having Reject in the gameplay footage, because it's not allowed in the sim right now, I just kind of made the deck breakdown without it. But yeah, if you do want to run it, probably something like this would be good. For starting hands, you'll want EB01 Charlotte Flampe, OP05 Gidatsu, OP05 Shura. Shura just helps you find every piece in your deck, whatever you're missing, and he's a great turn 1 play going second. Gidatsu is like the king of the mid game. I already explained how you play him earlier when I went over his card, but yeah, just a good card to have guaranteed on your 5 or 6 Dawn turn. Flampe is also a good card to have on your turn 1. Sometimes I just play out Flampe just to draw 2, because I know I'll go down to 1 eventually, so might as well get extra cards out of it. The strengths of the deck are Bum Rush potential. You're playing a lot of rush characters in this deck that can attack for 7 or close to 7, and at most you're paying 5 Dawn for that 7k. This does overwhelm a lot of opponents, and a lot of opponents may suspect that you're playing like a turtle style deck, but actually you're like incredibly aggro. Survivability. So yeah, we're not like super turtle-y, so we don't have ways to heal, we don't have like El Thor or anything in our deck. But despite that, our leader ability does make us quite tanky. Again, as long as you're controlling your opponent's number of attacks, you can guarantee not to die, giving you 1 free layer of super armor every turn. The weaknesses of the deck are Brick City. We run so many bricks in this deck. Let me count how many non-counter cards there are. Here's 4, here's 8, here's 12, here's 16, 19, 23, 27, 31. 31 cards in our deck don't have counter value. This means that over half of our deck is non-counters, and we also only run 8 2k counters. So it's a little feast or famine in that regard. We do depend heavily on our leader ability, keeping us alive. But there will be games where you completely whiff on defense and then you just die before you can get going. It doesn't happen too often, actually, but it does happen. Limited viability. Again, as I mentioned, this version of ENEL is only viable right now. Once OP07 comes out, this version of ENEL becomes vastly inferior, so you may not want to invest too much into this deck. While it is really fun, it has a limited shelf life right now. And that's my EB01 Bum Rush ENEL deck. This deck does catch a lot of people off guard, and it's a lot more fun to play than the Turtle ENEL. right? I feel like I have more agency in what I do. I'm not just depending on triggers and depending on drawing my 8-cost Katakuris and Yamatos and healing cards like that every turn. Yeah, give it a shot if it piques your interest. And I'm going to have a lot of gameplay footage to show with this leader so you can see if you like it for yourself. And thanks for watching. Okay, onto the gameplay. ENEL versus Red Purple Law. Gedatsu would be nice. He's going first though. We'll make it work. We just won't attack for a while. Okay, they play out a Gordon. We'll play out a Shura. Let's take I Am God. We'll pass. Okay, they swing at us for 8? Yep. That is okay. Get a Raigo trigger. Do I want to get rid of the Gordon? Sure. I'm never going to use this on anything else, I don't think. This saves my Gedatsu. He won't get bottom decked right away. They cheat something out now. Bottom deck are Chura to bring out a Shachi and Penguo. Shachi, Penguo. I think I will just play Cracker and pass. He's at what, 6? No, 4? So if he does play like a Gordon or something, he can't play anything else. That is 4. It'd have to be like a Shiraya or a Zoro. I think he'd rather play like a Mr. 2 right now. Okay, they swing at us for 5. We'll take that. It's a ace. I swear I always have like 2 Amarus in hand for some reason. I guess you can verify by looking at all the other footage I have for Bum Rush ENEL. Okay, there's the Mr. 2. I do think we kill Mr. 2 with Gedatsu. Oh, they can still Otama with the active Dawn that he ramps. By Cracker. They cheat out a Law 2 and they can minus Dawn to make me discard 2. They get one of our Amarus, that is fine. And they attack us with Shachi and Penguin. We'll take it. Satori trigger. This will help us attack back into their body, so we'll trigger him out. Alright, so we'll Satori 5 at Shachi Penguin. Counter 1. So leader 6 at Shachi Penguin. It's probably not a 2k in hand, right? He dies. Please? Yes, okay. Gedatsu to kill Mr. 2. And we'll pass, and then he doesn't have Dawn to make Otama a threat. So I don't die. Best he can do is just kill my Satori right now. Satori trigger kind of saved me, I think. Okay, 7 at Satori, right? Oh, 8 at him. That is fine. Sure, and that's their turn, unless they want to cheat something out. Nope. Okay, we do have access to ENELs to play out. That would give them cards in hand though. I could just like play out an ENEL and then pass. Nah. Yeah, nah. We'll do 5 at leader, make them take. We'll save this as like a 3rd copy that we can hard cast. They take that. Yeah, because we have nothing else to play, so might as well just hard cast the ENEL for 7. So got to 7, they take that as well. ENEL for 7, we'll swing 7. And then we'll pass. So this way, if they kill him, I can just play him again for 4. On a future turn, instead of playing him for 4 this turn and having, what, 3 extra Dawn? For attacks that he was going to take anyway. He took our 5 and 7. Yeah, you guys got it. I don't have to explain. I hope. But no shame if I had to explain for you to understand. That's the point of me doing these commentary videos, I guess. I don't know, I feel like I'm digging myself into a deeper hole, so I should just stop talking right now. Okay, 7 at Gedatsu or at us? Ooh, at ENEL. We do have free leader ability. Should we just use it? We lose a card though. Let's just counter. See what happens. And if he puts more Dawn to kill ENEL, we'll just let him die and replay him for 4. Or if we keep him alive, we threaten lethal with 2 ENELs on board. Yeah, I have the counter. Might as well, right? If I don't want to drag this game out past this turn. Okay, 2 Dawn onto Law at Gedatsu. Then they'll do 3 Dawn for a Kid and Killer and attach Dawn to make him an 8. Turbo counter 2. And then they'll play Kid and Killer. That means they'll have no Dawn next turn. They'll only kill one of these two. Yep, as we suspected. And then Dawn on him. Or no Dawn at all. Okay. But we still have access to our leader ability, actually. We'll just trash this ENEL that we can replay from the trash with I Am God. I think we win. Unless, is this Dawn for Radical Beam or something? Still think we have it. Will we get another ENEL too? Alright, we'll do Gedatsu 7. Counter out of hand 3. It's 4 for 7, 7. I can do like 7, 9. No, that math didn't work out. I'll just do the math later. Okay, they counter out of hand for that. Do leader 5, and then we win with the I Am God ENEL. Yep, playing from trash. Put all of our Dawn. Oops, I put it on the wrong character. I put it on leader by accident. If they top deck like a Radical Beam, I would have died, but they're all ENEL, so I got confused. I misclicked. This would have been a 12k on this ENEL, but I put it on leader. But yeah, in the end, it didn't work out for them. I swear, if they top deck like a guard point or a Radical Beam there, I would have been like really embarrassed. Okay, bye. Yep, ENEL versus Black Yellow Luffy. We'll go second. One mulligan. Yeah, the tricky thing is that Luffy does run a Luffy card that invalidates my 7 cost ENEL. Or the reviving part at least. They play Garp. They pick up a Sabo, the popping Sabo. I think we'll just play Flampe, draw 2 cards. Nice, we'll pass. Actually, not that nice. I don't need any of these. Yamato always ends up in my hand, it never ends up in my life. Another Garp. There's a Luffy. Even this 2-cost Luffy invalidates ENEL. Can you imagine, like in the anime? Little kid Luffy facing off against ENEL. Ooh, smack me for 7. Raigo trigger, I don't want to kill a Garp. Okay, 4 Dawn means nothing. Play Shura. Let's take a Disappear. And we'll do a leader 7. They'll probably take this for sure. Probably for sure, we'll pass. Yeah, Gedatsu is kind of useless in this matchup. Oh, Hiyori though? So they're putting a Luffy or a Sabo on top. Then they'll play the 2-cost. Buff their leader to 7. Okay, they're doing the Luffy. If I hit him, he'll use Luffy next turn to go down 0. Because for 7 though, we'll take. Maybe I just Raigo the Luffy instead. So I don't have to worry about him. And I hope he doesn't have a way to pop his last life. Or I could just not attack. Okay, they 1-cost Searcher to find an ace as well. I think we Raigo here. And I can't attack his leader anyway because it was 7k, so that's fine. Get rid of his popping outlet. He could rush us down with ace right now. Right, ace would be 7-7 for them, and then I just have to defend 1 to keep my leader ability up. We have 3 Amaurus now, I didn't notice. Yeah, I swear they always end up in my hand, never in my life. Maybe I should play Hiyori in this deck, since this happens so often. Okay, 5 at us, and then they can do like ace 7 or ace 9. I think I do want to counter this. Oh, they had another Luffy all along. And I'm out of Raigos. They play a small Sabo too, and I don't have my Gedatsu anymore. Very tricky. Does he know it's a Sabo on top? What are my chances of finishing him off? Not that high, huh? Maybe I don't attack again. 4 left over for nothing. So I could just play out a ENEL here and then just pass. Which I think I'll do. Yeah, we'll just play ENEL and pass. Next turn we could play Ace and ENEL via I Am God and then Ace. 1 Dawn left over. But I guess all he needs is like a Makino or a Flampe to take 2 life this turn. Because this Luffy can also take a life. I guess I could have Amaru to kill this Sabo before he could use it. That would have been a smart thing to do, probably. Yeah. But since it's a smart thing to do, that's why I didn't do it, because I'm dumb. Does he have the Sabos in hand though? Most likely. He has the popping one at least. Oh wait, he can just play it from hand. That'll take his last life? Yeah. And then he'll put the blocker Sabo into life. Dang it. Oh, he killed Shura. Poor Shura. So 2 down for leader. They heal. And then he'll be like 7k till next turn. Which is kind of hard to deal with. I'm gonna need more counter. They play ace. Okay, Sabo ace is coming out. If they're 9k, I can't do anything to him at all. Ace, and then did he have a Sabo? Nope, he doesn't. He can only do 1. And he put Luffy on top, so ace isn't coming out. Was that a mistake? Yeah, because I'm gonna hit you with a bunch of 7s next turn if you don't have a way to deal with this 7 at us. We'll Hamaru this and take the 8k from Luffy. I can only attack into life. Do 6k from ENEL. I'm gonna assume he messed up the order of his life here. They took. Okay, ENEL 7. If he takes this, I just go all in. Is it more damage to do 3 Amarus, or is it more damage to do I Am God? Let's do the math here. So 4, that makes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What if I did this onto Flampe? That is 6 Dawn, make her into a 10k, 11, 12, 13. What was the first number I said? I think that was higher, right? So we'll play ENEL out. Amaru tap. Amaru tap. Wait, I didn't play it. Oh, you can see it's before I could attack him. Right, what was the math? So this is 10, 13, 14. Yeah, so this was 1k higher. We got it. Sorry for my slow math. Okay, bye. We have ENEL versus Yamato. We'll go second. We'll mulligan. Okay, we'll play Shura. Take I Am God. Right, we're not gonna get Datsu next turn anyway. Okay, Mihawk into Kiku and then attack us for 5. Guess we could take. No. Let's counter and then we'll kill Kiku Nojo while we have 4 life. We'll attack Kiku for 9. Yep. Don't have to deal with that now. And if we do take the next double attack, we could just go down to 1 and then play I Am God without worrying about anything. Oh, Onami. Okay, we do have to worry about that. I don't want to lose 2 life this way. But I don't have to counter because this deck doesn't run any counter. Dang it. We lost ENEL and Amaru. That's not bad. Yeah, it was no counter anyway. Then Mihawk for 6. We'll take that too. Alright. Now we turn it around. So Shura 4 into Mihawk. We die. Leader 5 into Yamato. We take Tracker. We'll play out I Am God, ENEL. Back for 7. We take. We'll pass. They play a rush ace of their own. Okay, so Nami is a 5. 5, 5, 7, 7. So they start off with the 7. We'll take that. Amaru trigger, sure. Let's do the ENEL thing first. No, let's Amaru first. So don't need you. Don't need you. Trigger Kiku, sure. We'll trash ace. Tracker 5, we'll counter 2. Konami 5, we take this one. Then A7, we counter for 3. Oh, at ENEL. Counter for 3 anyway. We go for game here. ENEL 7. Probably should have attacked with Kikunojo first to play around Onami triggers. Were they able to counter that? Okay. Kikunojo 7. Fake. Leader 7. Fake. Play ENEL. Dawn 8. I guess we go for it. 8k at them. You have 4 cards, there's a good chance they can counter. Oh, nope, they don't have it. We win. We won the race. Rematch, sure. These are quick games. Alright, I think this is a mulligan. Yeah, a little better. Play Shura. And probably this one who should disappear. Attack us for 8, probably. Yeah. We'll take this. Another Shura. Lampe. Still no ENEL. Guess we'll take a I Am God. The leader 5. We play Cracker then? Okay. Yeah, I guess we can Cracker. We'll pass. We can make them double take next turn. Onami, scary. But we have the counter this time. Oh, do we? What is this, 10? 9? We have the counter, so we'll get the one who should disappear, get rid of Amaru, and then 2k. We're livers. Okay, how about Cracker 7? Burn 2 cards out of your hand, maybe? Yep. And I want to get rid of the Onami, so he can't use Rested Dawn. Do Leader 5 then. Take, and then Gadots kill Onami. Pass. So now they have no bodies to use 2 extra Dawn with unless they have a rush card. Ooh, Hiyori. If I had a rush Katakuri, I could look at it. Oh, again. That's 4k out of hand, I don't have to worry about. They're stacking their life with triggers. 8k at Cracker, probably. At us, sure. ENEL, and then I Am God. We'll discard the ENEL, because I can play it from discard. I can play 2. No, I want to use this Cracker. So, 9k Cracker, double hit, hopefully. Get their 2 triggers that they set up out of the way. Okay, so it was a badge, 2 badges. Okay. Guess we'll play ENEL. Back for 8. Maybe we have game. Oh, we do. Okay, bye. We have ENEL versus Red Purple Luffy. We'll go second. We'll keep this. I think it's a good hand. And actually, Gadatsu will never hit anything in their deck because they start at 3 life. We'll play Shura, maybe find an ENEL. We find an ENEL. Ooh, Raigo might be good for later, but we bottom deck 2 in our deck. Oh well. We'll just have to eat the 9-cost Whitebeards to the face. Swing at us for 6, we'll take Flambe. Play Zoro Juro. Ooh, actually, no, wait, next on. Next turn, I can kill it with the Gadots. So this turn is just Kiku Pass. They'll get their free ramp. Safe ramp. What, they'll go to 6? Yeah, and then they'll play like Jean Bart or something. We'll take the 5 from Zorojuro. Then Jean Bart. Oh, nope. It's Lead Performer Disaster. Then 8k at us. We'll gladly go down to 1. 1 and done. Ooh, 7 at us. We'll take that. Cracker. That's gonna be good. Bring them out by discarding ENEL because we can play it with I Am God anyway. How do we want to do this? I was going to play Gadatsu, but I think it's a lot juicier for me to hit him now. I'd have Cracker. Let's hit him for 8, but this will probably eat like a guard point or a radical beam. Good on him for leaving that Dawn up. Yep, it was a radical beam. Oh right, since he's at 3 life, it only counts for 2, so he needed another 2k there. We'll do 5k at Zoro Juro. He die. Kunojo at their leader. They take their 4 cards, yep. Then we'll play I Am God and play ENEL from our trash and attack for 7 and eat another 2k. Yep. Pass. 1 body against 1 life ENEL. I'll never die. We'll have a better chance at killing my board. Queen comes out. Because he could kill our Cracker pretty easily. They play Nami too. Let's see what Nami picks up for them. They pick up a 10 cost Luffy. I don't run any blockers, so that is fine with me. But yeah, having that Raigo now would be nice against cards like this. Could swing like, I don't know, 9 at Cracker. Oh, Zoro too. Zoro at Cracker, who is buffed because I have less life than him and I put a Dawn on him. Here you can read the card because that guy didn't. 6k item though. So I can still threaten double attack, so I think it's worth it to save him. So we'll counter 1. Alright, if it is a Radical Beam, that is 10k, right? So I need to put 4 Dawn onto Cracker. Is that worth? Sure, let's say it's worth. Attack him for 10. Ooh, they double take. Okay, Kiku 6. Counter 1. So I can either do like 6-10 or I can play another ENEL. Maybe 6-10 would be better in this situation, so we'll do that. Oh, they have Queen still. Right, oops. Oops. So we'll do 8-8. 8-8. Leave it up to fate. Okay, they had counter to counter out of hand. And we'll kill Zoro. Either we kill Queen or Zoro at this point, so I'd rather kill Zoro. No, actually Queen would be better. Queen is a 6k, but they do have a higher chance of like blocking and countering for 3. Oh no, if it's attack at their leader, Queen is the same stat line, so they just counter for 3. They don't need to block. But yeah, I'm out of attacks that turn anyway. They have the 3 bodies to go for game. Playing the 10 Luffy would, I think, be a mistake. Oh, they just concede? Okay. Well, nice. Bye.
Car D Kaizoku.